The version of you that shows up when everything is fine isn't the real test. Anyone can be generous when it costs nothing. It's not character, that's comfort. Pressure is the only honest mirror, and most people spend enormous energy managing the reflection in every other one. Welcome to Daily Power Boost. I'm Shawn Michael. This isn't a podcast about pushing harder or fixing yourself. It's a space to see clearly how your experience is actually being created. Each episode offers a simple shift in understanding, not a tactic, not a hustle, a clearer view of thought, identity, and the patterns you've been living inside. Because when misunderstanding drops, relief rises, energy returns. You move forward with calm, sovereign clarity. This is your Daily Power Boost. Welcome back to Daily Power Boost. We've been moving through the leadership layer this block, all of it pointing toward the same question. Who are you actually when the performance isn't available? Pressure answers that question whether you're ready or not. It doesn't reveal your flaws, it reveals your defaults. The defaults, they're your actual identity, not the one you're working toward, the one that's running right now. I know someone who had done serious work on themselves, years of it, the kind that shows in how they spoke, their leadership, the way they handled normal friction in their demanding life. And then something went genuinely wrong. We're not talking a minor setback, some real issue. The kind that doesn't resolve quickly and doesn't respond to usual tools. Under that pressure, a different person showed up. I'm not talking about a monster, and it wasn't dramatic. Just the earlier version, the one the work had been gradually replacing. Reactive, where they'd learned to be measured. Closed, where they'd been building openness. The most honest thing they said afterward wasn't about the situation. It was this: I thought I'd done more work than that. That sentence, it's worth sitting with. It points to something most people in the personal development space quietly avoid naming. Growth that hasn't been tested under pressure isn't fully integrated. It's just rehearsal. I don't mean it's worthless. Rehearsal is necessary. But rehearsal and performance, they're different things. And pressure is always the performance. Let me share what's actually happening when the earlier version shows up under stress. Your nervous system doesn't defer to the identity you've been consciously building. It defaults to the one with the most repetitions behind it, the oldest wiring, the most practiced response. Your survival strategy that's been running since long before any of the work began. Which means the goal of identity work isn't just intellectual understanding, it's repetition deep enough that the new response becomes your default. Not just in those comfortable moments, in the ones that actually cost some. The only way to know if you're there is to notice what happens when the pressure is on. Not what you intended to do, what you did. This is what it actually looks like when the work holds. The situation, it's genuinely difficult. The stakes are real. The comfortable options, gone. And something stays steady underneath it. It's not that that person is unaffected. It's because their identity doesn't require the situation to resolve in a particular way to remain intact. They can hold uncertainty without collapsing into a premature decision, and when hard feedback arrives, it lands without becoming a threat to who they are. not because they're beyond human reaction. The reaction just no longer has the final word. There's a pause, even a brief one, between the trigger and the response. And in that pause, the integrated identity gets a vote. That pause, it's everything. It's the evidence that the work has moved from rehearsal into something that actually holds. My one question for today: think about the last time you were under genuine pressure. Not mild inconvenience, real pressure. That kind that has something attached. And ask yourself honestly, who showed up? The version I've been building or an earlier one? You're not looking to judge the answer. Use it. Whatever showed up under pressure, that's your most accurate current baseline. That baseline is always the most honest place to start your next piece of work. If pressure keeps surfacing a version of you that you thought you'd moved past, that's not failure, it's a map. And it's worth reading it with someone who knows how to help you navigate it. Links in the show notes. Next time, what does it actually look like to lead without needing to prove anything? Not as a concept, but as a daily practice. The way you show up in rooms, in your decisions, in those moments that used to require something from you that you no longer need to perform. With strength and heart, I'm Shawn Michael. Stay close.
Thanks for tuning in to Daily Power Boost. Ignite your potential. Remember, transformation starts with action. So take today's insight, make it your own, and awaken your inner potential. Because remember, greatness begins within. Catch you tomorrow for your next Power Boost.